Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. Today in this lecture, we are going to discuss current affairs of 5th January 2022. In this lecture, we are going to discuss 6 topics which are very much relevant from our UPSC point of view. So let us have a brief introduction regarding which are the topics now we are going to discuss in this lecture. So first topic, it is about FCRA, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. So we already discussed about that topic number of times. So once again we are going to revise that topic. So this will be important from our polity point of view, which mainly comes under GS paper 2. And next topic, it is about inadequate response. So this article, it is about recent committee recommendations regarding this EWS quota, that is economically weaker sections quota. So this article, it is again important from polity, which mainly comes under GS paper 2. And next topic, it is about Supreme Court to hear economically weaker sections quota case today. Okay, so our Supreme Court is going to hear this case. So because of this, it is again important from our polity point of view, which mainly comes under GS paper 2. And next topic, it is about molnupiravir. Molnupiravir, it is antiviral drug. As you all know, recently DCGI, Drug Controller General of India, which gave permission for this molnupiravir, and this article talking about price of this drug. And here we need to know some basic facts regarding this molnupiravir and how it mainly acts, that is what is the mechanism of action. So this will be important from our health, which mainly comes under GS paper 2. And next topic, it is about China to modernize nuclear arsenal. So if you have watched yesterday's lecture, we studied about this non-proliferation treaty, right? So now Chinese say that we will go for modernizing of this nuclear arsenal, and in turn it says that Russia and USA, they need to decrease their nuclear arsenals. So this will be important from international relations, which mainly comes under GS paper 2. And next topic, it is about India spent a record $55.7 billion on gold imports in 2021. So it is talking about this gold imports in 2021. So this will be important from our economy, which mainly comes under GS paper 3. And I want to give you a small homework for you. So that is, so mainly to decrease import of this gold, government came up with a number of schemes regarding this gold. Okay. For example, I can say like sovereign gold bond scheme. So like that, there are many schemes to come up by government mainly to decrease the physical use of gold, and it will be also helpful for decreasing of our import, and as well as it will be helpful for saving of our forex reserves as well. So let me know at least 3 to 4 schemes regarding this gold, which are mainly came up by government of India to decrease this physical usage of gold, in comment box. So as I said, daily we are going to give one exercise, right? So today's exercise here, it is to do research regarding this gold related schemes in India. Okay, don't forget about this. So this will be very important. So now let's get started with our discussion, and let us try to see first topic. So title says the hint of One Nation, One NGO scheme. So this article especially talking about is FCRA, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. So we are going to discuss why it is in use, right? And already you know that in October, government released one notification like, so NGOs, they need to go for renewal by 31st December 2021. So what happened? So recently government said that MOC, missionaries of charity, they are not following this some important provisions under this act, so that they are not going for renewal. And later on, recently on December 31st, government extended this time for 3 months. Okay, that is till March 2022. So here these are some developments that we can see regarding this FCRA. And if you are following current affairs daily, then you can easily remember this current affairs. It is not a big issue actually, because if one news that is coming in the news today means, if it is important, we will be getting repeatedly editorials and some articles regarding the development in that issue. So if you are following newspaper daily, then you can easily remember those issues for sure. And understanding issues is important rather than by-hearting or mugging up of facts. Okay, so now let us try to see what is this article talking about. So this article mainly talking about this FCRA, that is Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. So recently on December 31st, 2021, our government of India, that is Ministry of Home Affairs, which mainly issued another public notice, that is extending of validity for registration for 3 more months. Okay, that is till March 2020. Actually, last date was on 31st December 2021, and it came up with extension for 3 months till March 2022. So now, before seeing what is this issue and what are the concerns, so first we need to know about this, what is this FCRA. Before knowing this FCRA, we can't go into deep dig into this topic, right? So first let us try to understand what is this FCRA and what are the recent amendments to this FCRA. So if you're talking about this Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, so it mainly talks about foreign funding. Okay, foreign funding of persons in India. So this is mainly regulated by this FCRA. So it is mainly talking about foreign contributions. That means if any person who is contributing from foreign country, those will be under control or regulated by this FCRA Act. And who will implement this act? That is nothing but our Ministry of Home Affairs. And what is this act mainly talks about? So this act mainly ensures that recipients of foreign contributions, they need to adhere to the stated purpose for which such contribution is obtained. For example, if there is any NGO or if there is any organization is present. So for example, this NGO, it is mainly focusing on old age people. Okay. For example, this organization which is mainly conducting some surgeries for the children who are below so and so age, and some organizations which are mainly conducting some camps for health. So what happened, whenever these organizations, these NGOs are working, then they will be getting some foreign contributions, right? So these foreign contributions, they need to be used for the stated purpose. So who will look after this? So that will be under FCRA, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. And one more important thing that you need to remember here is, under this FCRA, okay, under this FCRA, organizations are required to register, or they need to renew themselves every 5 years. So after once they register under this FCRA, so they will be having validity till 5 years, and at the end of this 5 years they need to go for again renewal of their registration for every 5 years. And the registered NGOs, they can receive foreign contributions for 5 purposes. So this purpose is also very important. So first important purpose here is for social purpose, for social service, for education purpose, for religious purpose, and as well as for economic and as well as cultural purpose. So if you're talking about recent amendments in this FCRA 2020, they include, the first one is, they said that prohibition of accepting these foreign contributions. So who are prohibited? That is public servants. Public servants are prohibited from receiving these foreign contributions. These public servants are very important in administration, right? So whenever these administrators who are receiving foreign contributions, means they will be coming under somewhat influence under these foreign contributors. So because of this, mainly to minimize that, mainly to prevent that, this act mainly said that, recent amendment said that public servants are not allowed to take this foreign contributions. And next one is transfer of foreign contributions. So this act will also prohibit this transfer of these foreign contributions to any person who is not registered or under this FCRA. And next one is for registration of any office, any organization or any NGO. So Aadhaar card is mandatory. Okay, Aadhaar, it is number is very much mandatory for all office bearers and who are the key directors and even some key functionaries of that organizations. So their Aadhaar card number is also mandatory. And next one is, they need to have FCRA account. So FCRA account should be there in SBI Bank of New Delhi. Okay. And next important thing which is mainly said in recent amendment here is, they need to reduce the use of this foreign contribution for administrative purposes. So how much? Earlier it was 50% and now it decreased to 20%. So this 20% of money that need to be used for administration, for example, office setup, for infrastructure, and for staff salaries, etc. They need to use less than 20%. And next one is, they can surrender of certificate. They can come up with this surrender of certificate. So this act which also allows central government to permit a person to surrender their registration certificate as well. Okay, so these are some recent new amendments for this FCRA. So this will be very important from your mains. And now let us try to talk about what are the major changes which have come up by this new amendments. So if we're talking about these new amendments, the first one is prohibition of fund transfer. It is present in section 7 of this act. As I said that, so here they should not be transfer money for unregistered person. And they said that they should have a single bank account. So recently missionaries of charity, they are having about 250 bank accounts throughout the country, but it is violating this new amendment. And next one is they need to go for utilization of funds. That means all the funds which are mainly received by this organization, so they should be allowed for open other FCRA account in any scheduled banks for utilization. So what happened whenever we want to utilize these funds? So if you are having a branch, if you are having a bank account in this SBI in New Delhi, so if they want to go for another bank account, they can go, but they can go in a scheduled bank for utilization purpose, not for receiving but for only utilization purpose. And next one here is shared information. So designated bank will inform authorities about this foreign remittances with details about its source and as well as manner which is mainly received. Okay, it also said that Aadhaar mandate and as well as expenditure I said earlier. So if you're talking about what is the criticism, so if you're talking about criticism regarding this new amendments to this FCRA Act, so first and the foremost it says that they are having some arbitrary restrictions. So NGO mainly questioning that the law mainly considers the prohibition of transfer of arbitrary and too heavy a restriction. So here NGO says that whatever the new amendments which came up, they are very much arbitrary. Okay, so here the law mainly considers the prohibition on transfer of arbitrary and as well as heavy restrictions that we can see. And next one is non-sharing of funds. So one of its consequences is that recipients, they cannot fund other organizations, okay, who are not registered under this act, because it becomes impossible to share this aid. And next one here is irrationality of designated bank accounts. There is no rational link between designating the particular branch of a bank and the objective of preserving this national interest. And next one is unease of operation. Due to Delhi-based bank account, it is also inconvenient for NGOs for operating elsewhere. And next one is illogical narrative. So national security cannot be cited as a reason without adequate justification, which is mainly observed by this Pegasus case of Supreme Court. Okay, so these are some issues. And now let us try to see what does government say. So first and the foremost thing government mainly says here is there is zero tolerance against intervention. Okay, there is zero tolerance. That means amendments were necessary, especially to prevent foreign state and as well as non-state actors from interfering in this country's polity and country's internal affairs. So because of this, we are not going to tolerate any other country or any other non-state actors who want to involve in this country's politics. And next one is diversion of foreign funds. So the changes are also needed to prevent especially malpractices by these NGOs, and they are mainly focusing on diversion of these foreign funds. And next one is fund flow monitoring. So the provision of having one designated bank account for receiving foreign funds, it is aimed to make it easier for monitoring the flow of funds. Here government says that why only one bank account? Because it will be helpful for monitoring of flow of funds. And next one is ease of operation. So government clarified that there was no need for anyone to come Delhi to open an account, but it can be done remotely as well. So these are some important arguments that are given by the government. So these are some important things that you need to remember regarding this topic. Now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding inadequate response. So this article mainly talking about government appointed committee recommendations. Okay, committee recommendations regarding this AWS quota. So this article will be also important from our polity, which mainly comes in the GS paper 2. And students who are going to write this year mains, so they need to focus on this topic for sure. And now let us try to see what is this article talking about. Already you know that in yesterday's lecture we studied that. So government appointed committee regarding this EWS quota. Okay, EWS quota submitted its recommendations. it says that rupees 8 lakh of cap, it is a reasonable, okay, such that here economically weaker sections, they will get 10% of reservation in admissions and as well as jobs. Okay, so this committee mainly said that rupees 8 lakh of cap is a good and it is also reasonable, such that who are eligible, they will get reservation, okay, 10% reservation in jobs and as well as in admissions. So the submission mainly rejected the notion that government had mechanically adopted this 8 lakh as a cutoff because it has to use to identify OBC creamy layer by asserting that the income criterion is more stringent than the one for the OBC creamy layer. So if you're talking about this OBC, okay, so whenever we want to identify who will be eligible under this OBC reservation, so we have this OBC creamy layer. So in the same way, government said that yes, we need to also come up with the upper limit in this EWS also, such that it will be helpful for who are actually benefiting that, who are actually going to get benefit from that. So if you are talking about the justification, so this justification mainly excludes some income and as well as operational parameters from the OBC creamy layer. Okay, so from the OBC creamy layer, it is having some occupational parameters and as well as some income, but this justification of this EWS, which is not having that. Okay, and because of this report which mainly, or this recommendations, it is not convincing the key question which mainly asked by court. Okay, so court said that OBC category is socially and as well as economic, educationally backward class. Okay, so if we're talking about other backward classes, they are socially and as well as educationally backward. So because of this, here we came up with reservation for this OBC, and to talk about this OBC reservation, we need to talk about Mandal Commission report, right? So already we discussed that Mandal Commission report in our polity lecture series, so you can see regarding that Mandal Commission or polity lectures. Okay, so court said that OBC category is socially and as well as educationally backward class, and therefore additional impediments to overcome, and had asked whether it would be arbitrary to provide same income limit for both OBC and as well as EWS. So if you're talking about economically weaker sections, and if you're talking about OBC, they are the socially and as well as educationally backward. But whenever we are coming up with income limit for both these OBCs and as well as EWS, is it right or not? So this is a question which mainly asked by the court. So here the submission of this report which did not adequately respond to this question which is mainly asked by the court. Okay, so this is the one important thing that you need to remember. And if you're talking about some more concerns regarding the recommendations of this committee, it mainly says that so annual family income of 8 lakh rupees, it is right approach. Okay, but one concern here is, so this committee did not present any data on estimated number of this economically weaker sections persons in the population based on this 8 lakh rupees. Okay, so this is one cause of concern. So if we're talking about some data, it mainly says that so according to this consumer expenditure surveys, okay, as per this NOSO 2011-2012 report, it mainly says that key indicator of household consumer expenditure or any indication a bulk of population will be eligible for reservation under below 8 lakh cutoff under this EWS category, rendering the limit is irrational. So here according to this NSSO report regarding this consumer expenditure, so it mainly says that whenever we are coming up with a cap of rupees 8 lakh cutoff for this EWS category, it is irrational. Okay, and this submission, if we are talking about the submission of this report by this committee, which mainly lays emphasis regarding the admissions, especially admissions in some examinations, recruitment examinations like NEET, UPSC, JEE. So they are saying that so here the people who are eligible under this people or who selected under this, they are having the income brackets which are less than 8 lakh rupees. Okay, but this committee which is not explained about the marks cutoff, why this mark cutoff it is less when we are comparing with it of this OBC. So this is a question which is also not answered by this committee. And if you're talking about this validity of this 103 Constitutional Amendment Act, which is regarding this 10% of reservation for this EWS quota, which is still before our constitutional bench. But apex court must seek more clarity on criteria which may be adopted by government committee to set up income limit for identifying of these EWS sections eligible for reservations. So because of this, now here today Supreme Court is going to take this case, right? It is going to hear this case. So in this context, here author says that apex court, that is Supreme Court of India, it must make some clarity regarding this criteria adopted by the government committee to set the income limit for identifying these weaker sections, that is economically weaker sections, who are eligible for reservations. So this is gist of this topic, and I hope it is very much clear. Now let us try to talk about next topic. It is regarding Supreme Court to hear EWS quota case today. So if we are talking about this timeline, so this is important. So in 2021 June 29, government issues a notification that announcing about 27% of quota for this OBCs and 10% of quota for this EWS category. Especially they are going to consider in NEET PG examinations or admissions. So in this NEET PG admissions, they said that 27% of quota for this OBCs and 10% for EWS. And later on August 28th, a batch of petition which mainly held through advocate challenges this notification. So in August, one advocate challenges this notification. And later in September 6th, what happened? Court issues notice to government. And in October 21, Supreme Court extended the ambit of case and asked the government regarding clarifying why they came up with the cap of 8 lakh rupees of income criteria. And in November, government informed Supreme Court that it has considered decision to revisit this criteria for this EWS category, and they came up with a review committee regarding this income criteria. And 31st December, review committee submits a report. Yes, this 8 lakh rupees, it is feasible, it is reasonable. So this is the criteria, or this is the timeline regarding this issue. So if you see this type of infographics, that will be giving you much information, and that will be giving you the concept clarity as well. So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that a 3-judge special bench of Supreme Court, okay, a 3-judge special bench of Supreme Court, which mainly led by Justice Chandrachud, is scheduled to hear this issue or this EWS quota today. Okay, so if you're talking about this EWS quota, recently committee recommended that yes, this 8 lakh rupees of annual income limit, which is mainly fixed, it is reasonable. So this is the thing which mainly going to be here by Supreme Court today. Especially it will talk about the benefits, reservation benefits for this EWS students. So now let us try to see some details. If you see details, it mainly says that on January 1st, 2021, a special committee was submitted a report. Okay, on January 1st, 2021, it is not 2021, it is 2022. So actually on December 31st, 2021, report has been submitted. So in Hindu newspaper it is 2021, it is 2022. So please make a change here. So on 1st January 2022, a special committee has submitted a report to Supreme Court regarding these reservations for these economically weaker sections. So we're talking about some key facts regarding this EWS quota. So in a report, the panel suggested to implement recommendations should be implemented from not from this year but from next year, that is from next admission cycle. So because whenever we are going for the sudden changes, that will be create some complications. Okay, so we're talking about some background. So if you're focusing on background, it mainly says that special committee was created to review the eligibility criteria of 10% reservation. Okay, so it is mainly talking about eligibility criteria of 10% reservations for economically weaker sections in the government institutes and as well as jobs. So petitions filed in Supreme Court to challenge this income criteria. Okay, and later on, while hearing this petition, court asked a question regarding the central government, how it arrived with the cap of 8 lakh rupees as income limit. Okay, and later on, the government came with appointment of expert committee to review this. So now the report or recommendations of this committee here is, so this committee suggested to drop existing criteria on residential asset size, but it said that it need to retain this income limit of rupees 8 lakhs. Okay, and this report also recommends to continue the existing process which is in effect since 2019. Okay, so in this current cycle they can go for the thing which is going on, but in the next admission cycle they need to implement these recommendations. And next one is, it also suggests that a 3-year feedback loop cycle is important, especially for monitoring the actual outcomes of these criteria. Okay, and also suggests to remove this residential asset criteria, because mere possession of this residential house may not affect this economic conditions of the candidate or his family. So because of this says that to remove this residential criteria. Okay, so these are some important things that you need to remember. And now let us move on to next topic. It is regarding antiviral drug molnupiravir, priced at 35 rupees a capsule. So this article mainly talking about this molnupiravir. So now this article will be important from health and even science and technology, which mainly comes in the GS paper 2 and GS paper 3 respectively. So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. If you see context, it mainly says that, so in Hyderabad we have this Dr. Reddy's, right? So pharma major Dr. Reddy's, okay, Dr. Reddy's laboratories said it would launch 200 mg, it is 200 mg capsules of molnupiravir, and this molnupiravir here is antiviral drug. It is antiviral drug that India recently granted emergency use authorization for COVID-19 treatment, and they are going to set a price of rupees 35 for one capsule, and the brand name here is Molflu. Okay, Molflu. So if you're talking about details, it mainly says that Dr. Reddy's is among a clutch of companies that received emergency use authorization last week. So actually this drug which received this emergency use authorization from the Stock Controller General of India, that is DCGI. Okay, and now Reddy's it is going to manufacture and it is going to market this molnupiravir capsule, and this will be useful for treatment of this adult patients, especially with this COVID-19. Okay, this will be given to the patients those who have high risk of progression of the disease. So if you're talking about some facts regarding this molnupiravir, it mainly belongs to class of broad spectrum antiviral drug. So this is very important. So this molnupiravir, it is a broad spectrum antiviral drug, and it is also called as nucleoside analogs. And this drug which mainly act by interfering with function of viral RNA. It is mainly going to interfere with function of viral RNA. RNA it is nothing but ribonucleic acid. It is a genetic material which is present. Okay, and this RNA it is nothing but it is like a polymer of ribonucleotides, and this RNA it is very much important for mainly especially for biological cells. Okay, so what is the important role played by RNA? It mainly involves in synthesis of proteins. Okay, and if you're talking about RNA, we are having different types of RNAs like messenger RNA, tRNA, etc. So if you're talking about this RNA which is mainly involved in the synthesis of proteins, which mainly carries the messenger instruction from this DNA, which itself contains genetic instructions which are required for the development or maintenance of life. So what happens whenever the message from this DNA is coming, so this RNA will go and will bind, okay, will bind, and that will lead to formation or the synthesis of these proteins. So these proteins are very important here. So here this drug which mainly acts on this functioning of this viral RNA, right? It mainly alters this synthesis of protein, and that will lead to some errors in the copying of their own RNA, and finally it will inhibit the replication of this virus. Actually this drug which was invented mainly to cure or mainly for this influenza virus. And if you're talking about mechanism of action of this drug, so this drug will mainly works on preventing the process of replication of virus inside our human cells. Okay, so this is about this topic, and now let us try to see next topic. Title says China to modernize nuclear arsenal. So in yesterday's lecture we studied about this NPT non-proliferation treaty. So this article which is related to this yesterday's lecture. So if you have not watched yesterday's lecture, please watch at least this topic, that is NPT. Okay, so now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. So this will be important from international relations, which mainly comes under our GS paper 2. So if you see context, it mainly says that China said that it will continue to modernize its nuclear arsenal, and China called that US and as well as Russia, they need to reduce their own stockpiles a day after global powers pledged to prevent such weapons from spreading. So in yesterday's lecture we studied that NPT, that is non-proliferation treaty, treaties meeting that mainly held. So in that treaty, 5 nuclear power countries, that is P5 countries, they mainly said that they are going to reduce or prevent such nuclear weapons, right? But here after that meeting, so China said that it is going to continue its modernization of this nuclear arsenals, and in turn it says that USA and as well as Russia, they need to reduce their own stockpiles. So if you're talking about details, it mainly says that in a rare joint statement, setting aside rising West-East tensions, US, China, Russia, Britain and France reaffirmed their goal of creating a world free of atomic weapons and to avoid a nuclear conflict. Okay, so what happened? So in this meeting they said that they are going to reduce their nuclear stockpiles, and as well as they want to avoid this nuclear weapons. So what happened? So in this context, here China said that no, we are going to modernize our nuclear arsenals. And if you're talking about these powerful 5 countries or 5 nuclear power countries, they also committed for the full future disarmament of atomic weapons. Okay, so actually you know that here these nuclear weapons mainly used in World War II. Okay, USA dropped these weapons on this Japan. So from that, what happened, that led to a large consequences. Even that effects are facing by this people in this Nagasaki area, Hiroshima and Nagasaki and surrounding areas. So what happened here? So because of the large scale of destruction which mainly caused by this nuclear weapons, so most of the countries, they mainly said that they should not use this nuclear weapons. So there is also growing of global concerns about this Chinese rapid military modernization, and especially it is also coming up with armed forces. And what happened recently, it also developed this hypersonic missile. Okay, hypersonic missile that can fly that 5 times than the speed of sound, that is 5 Mach speed. And next one here is the US has also said China is expanding its nuclear arsenal as many as 700 warheads by 2027, and is going to have about 1000 warheads by 2030. So these are the some reports of this USA. And China defended that its nuclear weapons policy and said Russia and USA, they are the world's largest nuclear powers and they should go for first disarmament, not China. So this is the thing which mainly said by China. So apart from that, US and Russia also they possess about 90% of nuclear warheads which are present on the earth here. So China says that. So first of all, this USA and as well as Russia, they need to reduce their nuclear arsenal irreversibly. Okay, China said that China has always adopted there is no first use policy, and this is a thing which mainly maintained by China here. So because of this, we will be having some minimal threat which is required for our national security. For our national security, we need these warheads, and we mainly adopted this no first use policy. So what is the meaning of this no first use policy? That means if any country which is mainly attacked China, then only for the retaliation attack will be done by China. So if any country which is not having any dispute with this China, means they are not going to use this nuclear weapons. So it is like for no first use policy. So China says that we adopted this no first use policy and we will maintain our nuclear capabilities, especially for the national security. Okay, and in this context, Chinese said that they are going to continue this modernization of this nuclear weapons arsenals. Okay, so this is this topic, and you need to revise yesterday's topic of this NPT for sure. And now let us try to see next topic. So before seeing next topic, I want to make a small announcement on this platform. If you want to clear this UPSC, I will strongly suggest you to join prelims test series and as well as mains answer writing course which we are offering in this Rathod's IAS. So if you're talking about this prelims test series, we are providing 30 tests which include C, SAT and as well as our GS. In GS, we have sectional test, we have revision test, we have full length test. So the questions are mainly framed as per UPSC standards, and even you can get a conceptual clarity if you write those tests, and even you can understand where you stand, and even you can understand whether you are in a right direction or not. And if you're talking about this mains answer writing course, it is exclusively beneficial, because mains answers skill is very important to clear this UPSC. If you want to see your name in your final list, then you need to focus on this mains answer writing. So even though if you are a beginner, even though if you gave your attempts in your prelims, in your mains, so you need to focus on this answer writing course or answer writing practice. So in this course, we are giving limited syllabus, like not more than 4 chapters a week, and based on that syllabus we are giving. So there will be daily 1 question will be given, and on Sunday there will be essay or case study practice. So overall you are going to write 300 and plus questions on our basic static syllabus like GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4, and 27 essays and 26 case studies. So in this way, this course will be very useful for improving your answer writing skills, and also you will complete your static syllabus within 1 year of span. So the course time duration here is 1 year, and we will be providing you evaluation. We will provide you one-to-one mentorship and even guidance. Okay, so this course, which had been started on January 3rd, so by today and tomorrow you can do your admissions. So please be hurry up. So details of this course is given in description box. So please see once. And apart from this, we also came up with this foundational course for UPSC, and we are providing more than 700 hours of video lectures, and we are especially focusing on this conceptual clarity. Okay, because if you see the recent trends of UPSC had been changed, they are mainly asking some conceptual based or analysis based questions even in your prelims and your mains, as you all know. So to answer those type of questions and to clear prelims and mains, you need to have this conceptual clarity. So that conceptual clarity we are providing here, and we are providing quality education. We are not compromising on quality at all. I am the academic director of this Rathod's IAS Academy, and you can 100% trust us. And apart from this, if you don't want to take foundational course, if you want to take individual courses like economy, geography, history, science and technology, environment and ecology, disaster management, so you can take that individual courses also. Okay, so details of this course are given in description box. You can see that. And if you want to download Rathod's IAS Academy app, so the link also given in description box, so you can download that app for your easy use. Okay, so now let's come back and let us see. And before that, if you have any queries regarding these courses, you can call on this number 8074765513. Okay, so if you want to talk to me directly, you can call to this number. Now let's come back and let us see this topic, that is India spent record $55.7 billion on gold imports in 2021. So this topic talks about this gold imports. So one reason here I can say here is why there is increasing of gold imports in 2020. So the number of marriages that had been decreased, okay, because of some COVID-19 related restrictions. And what happened in 2021? So there are a number of marriages in this 2021 happened, and there is increasing for the demand for this gold. So this is one important reason. So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that India splurged a record of, that is India spent a record of $57.7 billion, 55.7 billion gold imports in 2021, and we went for buying more than double. Okay, so if you are comparing with previous years, and this year's gold imports are more than doubled. Okay, so because of price favor, and as well as there are many occasions like marriages, some functions, so because of that there is increase in the demand for this gold. And if you are talking about details, it mainly says that the 2021 gold import bill easily doubled the $22 billion spent in 2020 and surpassed the previous high set in 2011. So in 2011 the highest was $53.9 billion, and now it surpassed it, and now in this year it is 55.7 billion. So last year the demand was robust, as lots of weddings they were postponed to 2021 due to this COVID-19 outbreak, right? So because of this there is increase in the demand for this gold. And as I said in introduction, so please do some research regarding this gold related schemes which are came up by government to decrease this demand for this physical gold. Okay, so that will be very important from your mains point of view. And let me know in comment box, don't forget about this. So by this I'm concluding today. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please subscribe to Rathod's IAS and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. And don't forget to enroll to these courses, and details are given in description box, so please visit once. And if you want app, so app link is also given in description box. And if you want to talk to me directly, the number is given in description, you can call to me. Okay, so by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much.